Hello! Hi! I'm very excited about this video because summer's ending, autumn's coming up, and winter is almost here. And I know how fast time goes, so I would like to start planning my knits for the winter. And I've been wanting a nice, like, chunky cable knit sweater. Imagine like a fisherman's iron sweater. And today I've decided to pick 8 patterns and put them in a little tournament. So they're each gonna go against each other, and then hopefully I'll get a pattern that I will want to knit in the upcoming months. And I'd just like to say I picked these patterns on Ravelry. Like, I picked 8 of my favorite ones, and then I chose the pairs that they're gonna go up against using like a random wheel spinner online. So that it's fair for the contestants. Let me just mention what I'm wearing. This is the Blouse #1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. As you can see, it's a bit creased because it's been in my closet, but it's made out of the suggested yarn, which is the Knitting for Olive silk. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Knitting for Olive silk, and in the color Ballerina, I believe. So yeah, let's just get into the video. I prepared a little tournament bracket visual for you guys so you can see it better. And the first sweater that we're going to talk about is the Frøya sweater by Ingrid Dyb. I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. This sweater is so pretty. I really like this sweater. I've seen it first on Instagram, and that's why I saved it in Ravelry. But I just like how oversized and chunky it is. I really prefer oversized clothes. Really not evident with this blouse, but I really prefer usually oversized clothes because I just find them more comfortable and cooler, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I really like how oversized this sweater is. And for each sweater that I'm gonna talk about in the first round, I'm gonna tell you all the information about the sweater, the gauge, the yarn thickness used, the needle size, and usually I'm also gonna mention the sizes available and the positive ease. I have my notes on my phone, that's why. The positive ease that's recommended in the pattern. So this pattern is made out of worsted weight yarn held together with a lace weight. So I think like a silk mohair. I've been thinking about like an alpaca, like a really thin alpaca strand instead of silk mohair because budget wise. So it's basically, I think that's an aran weight, or a bit thicker than an aran altogether. And then the gauge is 20 stitches and 23 rows. I'm not sure in which pattern. It probably says online. Okay, and that's done on 5mm needles, so it would be quite chunky needles. That's what I like for at least my first cable sweater. I don't want like a very intricate small needle project. There is a downside to this pattern because there are only 3 sizes available, and these 3 sizes, let me calculate it really quickly, I think go from a 90 centimeter bust, like your bust circumference, 90 centimeters to 110 centimeters, which is not very inclusive. I'm not sure if the pattern designer had enough testers or anything, but the sweater is supposed to have 40 to 50 centimeters of positive ease. This kind of shocked me, and then I was looking at the pattern photos, which look very pretty, I must say, but you can see how like actually oversized the sweater is. The actual sweater, like the drop shoulder, goes about down to here on the model, and then the sleeves are super chunky. I really like wide sleeves, so I like this pattern, but I think it might be a bit too chunky for me. We'll see which one wins. So yeah, that was the Frøya sweater, and the Frøya sweater is gonna go up against the Heart Chain sweater from Mayo. I think that's their designer name, like that's how it's posted on Ravelry. And this is also a worsted plus lace, so something like an aran, or like a thicker than an aran weight yarn. And this one has the gauge of 18 stitches and 23 rows, which compared to, it's a much more open gauge compared to the Ingrid sweater. But yeah, you can even see on the photos, the gauge looks a bit more airy and not that dense, which maybe might be better. Like, it doesn't make the sweater as heavy, maybe, I don't know. It uses 5.5mm needles, so a bit thicker needles than the the Frøya sweater. And there are 5 sizes available for this sweater, going from, oh yeah, and it doesn't actually give you the positive ease recommended, so it just gives you the, and the, like, what the sizes of the sweater would be, basically the circumference of the sweater, what it would be. And it goes from 104 centimeters to 128 centimeters. And for me personally, I think 20 centimeters of positive ease would be the minimum for the sweater. So this would go from maybe 80 to 100 centimeter bust, which is also not that inclusive, but I'm probably not gonna pick the sweater, we'll see. I do like these little heart chains where the name comes from on the shoulder. It goes down here. I find them very pretty, but I think it might just be a bit too cutesy for me. I don't want a cutesy fisherman sweater. I want like a proper chunky sweater. Yeah. So it's just not for me, but I find it very pretty. I do like that this pattern and the Frøya sweater both have 2x2 ribbing. I think that's what I want to do in my sweater. So no matter what pattern I pick, I will probably do 2x2 rib, because I'm just obsessed with it right now. And I also like how you can see in the Frøya and in this heart chain sweater, there's this diamond cable. I'm not sure about the names of cables yet, but this I really love the look of this diamond cable. You'll see it, it's probably in most of the patterns on this in this video. But I really like it when the cable twists around each other, when the diamond basically goes in and then twists around each other. And as you can see in the heart chain sweater, it doesn't really do that. It basically just overlaps, which I'm not sure if I would be able to modify yet, because I've not done a cable sweater before, so I think it might be a bit too far-fetched for me to try and do it myself. I don't know, we'll see. So these two sweaters are going against each other, and I would like to pick the Frøya sweater to go on in this competition, because I prefer the look of it. I prefer the oversized look. I really like all the cables that are on it, but it is a bit chunky. It is a bit too oversized for my taste. So, and I think if I did knit the Frøya sweater, it would have to have 40 centimeters of positive ease, because I would pick the smallest size, so it'd have to have 20 centimeters of positive ease. Okay, next two contestants that we have is, first one is the Sirena sweater by Cookie the Knitter. And this is very similar to the heart chain sweater, as you can see, because you have the diamond cable in the middle and then a few braids on the sides. Also, I braided my hair for this video so that it matches the cable knit topic. The few braids on the side, I prefer the look of this one to the heart chain sweater for some reason. It just feels a bit more classic. This also has, no, it doesn't have 2x2 rib, but I prefer the look of this one. It is a bit, I think, too fitting for me. It looks a bit too tight fitting. I would prefer it to just be like a almost like a bag that I'm wearing. I don't want it to fit me well. And this one, it's a bit confusing because on the website it says that it's a DK weight plus a sport yarn held double. That sounds like such a big gauge. Two sport yarns plus a DK. I don't know how that works, but the gauge is 16 stitches and 24 rows in moss stitch. So I guess that's like quite a big gauge. I don't know, it's bigger than the heart chain one. And it's also done on 5.5mm needles. So I guess this would be quite a thick sweater. There are way more sizes available for this one. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sizes available, which range from 85 centimeters to 135 centimeters positive bust circumference, like your bust circumference, and the positive ease recommended is 20 to 25 centimeters. So what I think I've learned right now is that I would prefer bigger positive ease than 25 centimeters probably. So around 30 centimeters of positive ease would be, I think, my like gold spot, like the perfect amount of positive ease. The pattern that this sweater is going to go up against is the HANA sweater. Now I prepared some notes for this, but I don't find my notes for this one. That's okay. The HANA sweater is so interesting. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, you can do that? That's so crazy. It's basically panels of really different cables, and then you sew them up together to create a big sweater. I really like the oversized look of it. I'm repeating myself already, but you know, I like how different it looks. I like how like it's a bit more special than all of the rest. And it uses worsted weight yarn. I think the pattern designer used a hand spun yarn, which I find very cool. I find that very cool. And it uses 4.5 millimeter needles, which is a bit smaller than the rest, but it is worsted weight yarn, so that makes sense. There are 6 sizes available, and I don't think there are, I don't think there are like measurements. Oh, there are. They're for a bust circumference of, so the finished bust circumference would be from 110 and 180 centimeters. That's quite inclusive. I like that. So there's a few sizes available, and so as I said, I really like this pattern. And if I compared it to the Sirena sweater, I think it's a bit, so there's a bit more to the HANA sweater that I like about it. It's a bit more out there. So I would prefer, so I would pick the HANA sweater to go into the next round. Yay. The third pair that we have coming up is the Shine Bobble sweater by Sallyknit. And I believe, let me not be incorrect about this. This looks like Korean. I think she is a Korean designer. Yes, she is a Korean designer. And this pattern is just so pretty. The cables in the back are so gorgeous. I love them. I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of Bobble, so I might just not make those. But oh, it looks so pretty. The one thing I don't like about this pattern is that there's no cables down the arms. So it's just, I think, moss stitch. So there's just moss stitch arms. For now, that's not what I'm looking for. And I think this is also a bit like less of a traditional fisherman sweater looking cable knit. So I don't think this is the one that I'm looking for, but I think in the future, I am kind of like looking at this pattern, you know, I'm keeping it in mind. This is also worked with a worsted weight yarn held with a lace, so something of a yarn or a chunkier weight. And the gauge is 17 stitches and 25 rows in moss stitch on 5.5 millimeter needles. There are 6 sizes available. I don't think it specified what the sizes were. Again, like what the bust circumference would be for the size 1 and for size 6. But it does say the positive ease is 15 to 25 centimeters. So I think for me, wait, how is this 15 to 25 centimeters? If you look at the photo, this looks way way more oversized. I don't know, maybe I don't like it when the pattern photos are actually like models wearing not their men's size, like they're maybe wearing 2 sizes up, and then it looks more oversized, and then you don't know, you think it looks that oversized. I'm just complaining at this point. The next pattern that this one is the Shine Bobble sweater is going to go up against is the Dagmar sweater by Petite Knit. Not the zip up one. I've seen the zip up one done quite a lot, and there's something too, I think, masculine about it for me. And I've also seen the zipper, like the Oh no, that's the zipper Dagmar sweater. Yeah, never mind. So this, just the sweater has been really growing on me because it's just that classic. It's just so classic looking. There's just something about Petite knit that she does really well. I've not I haven't knit something by Petite knit for me. I have knit 2 other sweaters for my boyfriend and my friend, so nothing for me yet. So I would like to like try out a pattern for myself, and I think this one is just so pretty. And I know like Petite knit is known for like explaining stuff well, and her patterns are really well made. So I think starting like making a cable sweater with really good instructions from her would be quite a good move in my opinion. I like the honeycomb. I had like maybe a few months ago I wasn't really a fan of honeycomb like looking cables, but they have grown on me. And this one has the diamond shape where the diamonds kind of twist around each other here, as you can see. And I love how that looks. So the gauge is, the yarn is Aran, but she also I think recommends Peer Gynt, which is like a heavier DK plus a lace weight yarn. And the gauge is 18 stitches by 24 rows in texture pattern. I don't know what texture pattern means. Maybe it's the cables. It's probably the cables, right? Yeah. And on 4.5mm needles. That's quite a small needle, no? I don't know, we'll see. There are obviously a lot of sizes available. It's Petite knit. It goes from about 80 centimeter bust to about 130 centimeter bust, so quite very inclusive. And it's supposed to have 26 centimeters of positive ease, which, as I've said, I would probably prefer a bit more of positive ease. So if I were to knit this one, I would pick maybe a size 1 or 2 bigger. Let's see. So comparing this one and the Shine Bobble sweater, as I've said, the Shine Bobble sweater is super pretty, but it doesn't have any cables on the sleeves, and it doesn't look that it doesn't have that like traditional iron sweater look. So I would prefer the Dagmar sweater to go into the next round. Now we have another Petite knit pattern. I know, very surprising. And it is the classic. It's the Moby sweater that probably everybody has knit before, but I have not knitted before. And I like this sweater for its simplicity, but I think it might be too simplistic. I think the only cable is literally the braid that goes down the side, and then the middle part is faux cables, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I like how it looks. I was talking with my boyfriend yesterday, and he actually really liked how it looked, so maybe I'll knit one for him, and then I'll have the pattern as well. But the yarn weight is DK plus lace, which I believe should be Aran. And the gauge is 20 stitches and 28 rows in texture pattern on 4mm needles. That's quite small for an Aran. Okay. The sizes go again from 80 to 46 even centimeters of positive ease. And the positive ease goes from about 15 to 20 centimeters, which again, it's a bit tighter than I would like to, so I'd probably knit a size or 2 bigger to get a bit more positive ease in there. This one's gonna go up against the Sylvan sweater. I know this is a bit of a wild card. This doesn't look like a fisherman cable sweater, but I think it just is very pretty. I really like the detail on the back, especially like the cable. Well, let me find the sweater. Let me find the photos. Like the cable that goes on the back reminds me a lot of the Brady loop sweater. I think also has that sort of construction, but this was just so pretty. It's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's just something about it. I think this in a very nice color. I don't have like a good color idea right now, but this would be very pretty. And this one is knit on using Aran weight yarn, quite thick, and the gauge is 17 centimeters by 25.5 rows in stockinette on 5mm needles. The sizes are just given as 90 99.5. I think like that's including the positive ease. So around 100 to 150 centimeters. So also very inclusive. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sizes. That's very nice. And it's just very beautiful. So if I know that this will probably not win because I want a fisherman looking sweater, but you know, in the future maybe. But if I were to compare this to the Moby sweater, right now I would actually pick the Sylvan sweater because I find it prettier and it's a bit different, you know. It's not something that that I've seen very often. I don't know. So the Sylvan sweater is going into the next round. So now we've got the next round and we're gonna compare those winners, pair them up, and see who wins and goes into the second round. Wait, no, the third round, yeah. So the first contestant going into this round is the Frøya sweater, and we're gonna compare it to the HANA sweater, yeah. So the Frøya sweater is low-key the look that I'm going for, and the HANA sweater is a bit more out there. It looks quite complex because it's basically just knit the panels with really different cables. So I don't think I could get like used to it. It would be always something new. And I think for my first cable project, that would be a bit too complex. So just for that reason, and for the reason that I really like the look of the Frøya sweater, I'm gonna put the Frøya sweater is gonna go into the next round. Yes. And then on the right side, we have the Dagmar sweater going against the Silven sweater. So as I've said, again, I want a fisherman looking sweater, so I think we know which one's gonna win here. I just like how the Dagmar sweater looks. And it's the Silvan sweater is very pretty, but it's not a fisherman looking sweater. So I am gonna put the Dagmar sweater into the next round, which means that in the last round, the final, we have the Dagmar sweater versus the Frøya sweater. They are very similar looking. They both have honeycomb in the middle. They both have like diamond things on the side. But because the Frøya sweater is so oversized, it has space for another braid in the middle and then another braid after the diamonds. So it is quite, it's a bit more, a few more cables than the Dagmar sweater. And it's more oversized than the Dagmar sweater. But a plus that I like about the Dagmar sweater is, as I've mentioned, that the diamond cables kind of twist around each other, which the Frøya sweater doesn't do. One thing, the Dagmar sweater is less oversized than the Frøya sweater, and I would like it to be more oversized, and I much prefer the 2x2 rib in the Frøya sweater. But for my first cable knit, I would like to knit something that I'm sure that I will get through. I'm sure that the instructions will be very nice and not simple to follow, not exactly that, but just explained well enough for me to follow along. So I think for all of these reasons that I've just mentioned, the Dagmar sweater is going to be the winner for this video. But I would, the few things that I would change is that I would probably knit a size or 2 up to make it a bit more oversized, and change. So in the photos, Petite knit has like a really tall, I think just a single layer rib collar, and I would change it into a double folded 2x2 rib collar, and also the other finishing rib would be 2x2 probably. So yeah, I think we've got a winner for this tournament. This was the cable tournament. And maybe just talking about the yarn that I was thinking about. I was thinking about using a DK weight yarn, specifically Lamana Como, because I've heard from another knitter, if I remember the name, I will put it on the screen, that she loves this yarn because it is super light. So it basically, usually a DK weight yarn, this would give you, I'm not sure about the meterage, but this yarn would give you the same amount of meterage in half the weight. So you need to buy, so the sweater would literally be half the weight that it would have been with a normal DK yarn. So which is very exciting because I want a chunky big sweater, and I think making it out of really heavy yarn would make it just enormous and really heavy. So I would probably hold a DK with yarn with, as Petite Knit suggests, a DK with a lace, like an alpaca lace strand. I think I would just use the alpaca lace strand. I think it is Sandnes Garn, and then a name that I don't know how to pronounce and I don't remember it right now. Alpakka Fogusta? I don't know. Basically that really thin alpaca strand. And because I want the classic look of a fisherman sweater, I would probably go for a cream, like a nice, not super white, but like a cream white. Yeah. So this is it for my video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know your opinions about which one you would choose. Maybe you wouldn't agree with me, which is totally fine, and I would love to know your opinions. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.